Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your Week 4 start and sit video for the tight end position. Again, anytime you guys watch these videos, it is always going to be full PPR or half PPR. If it is a standard league, hit me up in the comments down below. And of course, if it's tight end premium, still same thing. You got to make sure you get the right lineup for you. So let's jump right into it. All right, so the Week 4 of the NFL season is upon us, which means we have to talk about the tight end position. It is one of the hardest positions to figure out who you should put in your lineup, especially since who we thought were going to be week in and week out starts are starting to have some difficulties. And of course, you got injuries to deal with. We got to wait and see what the injury report looks like. But obviously, you got players like Kittle who's still out there, Ingram. You've got, obviously, McBride, Laporta. Like, there's a lot of tight ends that are on the questionable side of things that may miss this week. So hopefully you guys are following us on X to make sure you guys pay attention. Now, these are your obvious starts at the tight end position. Now, I do have Kittle in there because I still think he does play this week. If he does, he's an absolute start this week just because there's so lack in few playmakers at the tight end position, at least performing so far this season. Now, the first tight end I like this week that you should put in your lineup is going to be Cole Kmet versus the Rams. Kmet just came off of a great game last week where he had over 25 fantasy points and now faces a Rams defense that is struggling to stop the tight end. Rams are also allowing over 55 yards in the air to the tight end, as well as 14 points a game. Kmet should see very, very similar success this week where he's getting to that 15 to 16 point range. I do expect a touchdown out of him this week. And again, just in general, I think the Rams are going to struggle defensively, and I think the Bears are going to have a really good offensive output. I like most Bears players this week anyways, if you haven't checked out the rest of my videos. Now, another tight end I like this week is going to be Mark Andrews versus the Bills. I know it's hard to trust Andrews at this point. He hasn't seen the targets. He doesn't look like his old self. You still have, Isaiah Likely there that could be a factor as well every single week. But the Bills have actually allowed 12 points per game to the tight end position and also allowing 6 receptions per game. This feels like a tight end game. Like, I love Kincaid this week. I also think Andrews is going to have a great week as well. He should score at least one touchdown in this matchup. And I think this is going to be tough because I think for the Bills, they have a lot of injuries at the linebacker position, which means they have to fill that, which means I think Mark Andrews should take advantage. Could likely have a decent game. Absolutely. But this feels like an Andrews game and I'm going to put him on my lineup. Now, the last player I'm going to mention is going to be Kyle Pitts versus the Saints. I get it. We're all tired of hearing about Kyle Pitts. Right now, the Saints are allowing over 70 yards in the air to the tight end and almost 6 receptions per game. I know I've mentioned Kyle Pitts several times. He has really not been as successful, but right now he currently is tied in 11. So there is something to be said about that. I know a lot of players like Sam Laporta and, even Kincaid, have not been as successful. Andrews, Kelsey, there's a lot of tight ends that have not played well. So tight end 11 doesn't really mean much for Kyle Pitts, but I think this is a great week for him to have some success. I think it's going to be a nice little fun rivalry game. And I don't think the Saints linebackers are as good as some other teams to really cover Kyle Pitts. Now, as far as sits, I'm going to sit Hunter Henry versus the 49ers this week. He comes into week 4 as tight end 9 so far this season, but he faces a very tough 49ers defense. Their linebackers are amazing and are really great at stopping the tight end. They're currently only allowing 3 points per game, which is league best, and they're also allowing no more than 13 yards in the air. Sure, Henry's going to see plenty of targets. This passing offense isn't great for the Patriots. There's a chance may end up in this game. We'll see how things play out for Brissett. But I just think, yes, Hunter Henry is a very safe play. But the receiving core is not great, so there's a chance maybe Henry gets some targets. But with all of those players not playing great and the 49ers defense, it's just way too good. I know they lost, obviously, Hargrave, which is going to be a big one for them. I still think Hunter Henry is someone I'm not going to play this week. Another tight end I'm not going to play this week is going to be Evan Ingram versus the Texans. Now, when I record this video at the time, again, there's a lot of questionable tags. There's a good chance that Ingram misses this week again because of his hamstring situation. So this means nothing. But I still put him as a sit because if he does end up playing, this is a tough matchup for him. Texans have actually been really great against the tight end position, holding them to only 10 yards a game, which is the best in the NFL, and also holding them to only 5 points per game as well. So not a lot of receptions. And again, leaguing only allowing 10 yards per game. So if Evan Ingram plays, I'm still going to sit him this week just because I don't like the matchup. And the last tight end I don't like this week is going to be Brock Bowers versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, Bowers could have a solid game this week because there is a last minute kind of injury to Adams. And right now we don't know what's going to happen with him. So if Devontae Adams does miss, I think Brock Bowers I think he should be a start. But if Devontae Adams does play, I don't really love this matchup for Bowers. I think part of it is I know like the Browns defense is still legitimately good. They haven't played as well as they should have, but and obviously you've got, again, injuries like anything else, but they're only allowing 3 receptions per game. Yeah, they allow about 40 yards. So you if you get that together, yeah, you might get 7 points out of your tight end, and maybe Bowers does have a little bit better game. But for me, the only way I'm going to put Bowers in is if Devontae misses time. So we'll see how that plays out with the injury reports coming in. But again, I'm not crazy about it. Now, my sleepers for the week is I've got Tyler Conklin versus the Broncos, and I've got Mike Gesicki versus the Panthers. Both great matchups. Not amazing tight ends, but tight ends that might actually end up having a good game just because the matchup's not, they're very favorable for them. And also I think they could sneak in a touchdown here or there that might end up having a successful week for you. So those are my start, sits, and sleepers for the tight end position. If you guys do have questions of who your lineup should be, hit me up in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll check you guys out next time.